Welcome back, Padawans, to another episode of the Jedi Mind Trick. And today, I want to talk about the PlayStation Portal. So I was finally able to get my hands on one. Honestly, not even finally. I've had my hands on one for the past, I would say, probably about a week and a half since launch, a couple days after launch. So not right at launch, but a couple days after. But that is another reason why I have been on hiatus. I wanted to take some time off, get some hands-on with this device here, and so that way we can come back, convene, and I can give you guys a pretty good, thought process as to where I'm thinking and where I'm sitting with this device, with the PlayStation Portal. But also, Thanksgiving, as you can see. We just had Thanksgiving this past Thursday. I hope everybody who's watching has had a fantastic Thanksgiving with the family. You ate some good turkey, maybe even some ham, because I'm a ham person myself. But without further ado, guys, let us get into this discussion over the PlayStation Portal, because I don't want to necessarily call this a review, but I do want it's going to be a discussion, the PlayStation Portal discussion, all right? So let's get into this, and I want to ask some certain questions that you might be asking yourself, because you see the price tag, you see what this is, and you see what kind of device this is, and you might be wondering, what is the Portal? So the Portal is a streaming device only. You cannot do anything else with it. It is only for streaming from your PS5 directly to this thing here, and I will show it to you for the camera right here, this beautiful piece of technology here. Now again, there are things that this does well, things that it doesn't do well. We'll get into all of it, but for me personally, I am heavily enjoying this, all right? So that's gonna be the cliff note thing right here. Like, if you're wanting to stream your games that you're playing on your console in a high fidelity manner, this is the console, this is the device that you're going to need to use, all right? It's way better than anything that we, at least that I personally, have been able to test out. So that's why it definitely is, getting some points there for this. But you must have a PS5 for this. You have to have a PS5, not a PS4, not any other PlayStation. It needs to be a PS5. It can be the original model of it, the original SKU, or it can be the newer slim version of the PS5. Or even if they potentially do a PS5 Pro, I guarantee this will be compatible with it. But for right now, PS5 consoles only, you have to have one. If you don't have one, this is a paperweight. So do not buy this if you don't have a console, all right? Again, with that being said, there are no games that are directly on the Portal, all right? So there's nothing here you can see. There are no, any place that you can put in any kind of cartridge, any kind of disc or anything like that. And I'm thinking disc of like the old style PSP disc, the UNDC or something, whatever they called that back in the day. But this is not going to be that, right? Again, only streaming. I've said it so many times because I want to reel it in that it is just that. That's all we're using this for. Now, the way that I've kind of looked at this is more of like a second screen for the PlayStation, all right? So you've got your console, you've got a monitor if you've got it set up like that, you've got a TV like I have, 4K TV, so those are options that you have, but then there is this, which could potentially be a second screen for you. Not a second screen, but maybe another option of a screen for your PlayStation 5, all right? But what use case would you have for this, right? Because if it's only streaming, what do you really want with this? What can you really, what benefits do you have for just a streaming device? And for me personally, in my life, if you, let's put it this way. Let me try to market this for you, all right? Hey you, are you a parent? Do you have kids that are taking away your gaming time or your television time because they want to play games or watch their TVs or movies? Well, folks, I have a product right here for you. It's called the PlayStation Portal, aka the new PSP. This thing right here mitigates that problem, all right? You are able to let them have the TV, and then you can continue on your gameplay wherever you left off, right there, right on the couch right next to him. So not only do you feel like, all right, I'm still in the the vicinity, I'm still here, right, adamantly here, but I am still able to play my games. You know what I mean? And again, somebody else can use that TV. They can utilize that. So as I've been using this over the last couple of weeks, or a week and a half, my daughter has been coming out here and she's been wanting to watch Netflix, right? Now, Netflix is only on our main TV out in the living room. She doesn't have Netflix in her room. So unfortunately, she's gonna have to watch it out here. Now, unfortunately for her, I play games. So it's very hard for her to get out here to be able to watch it. So this device has been able to free up the TV so that way she can watch the shows that she wants to watch. Perfect. Again, my wife watches all kinds of different shows all the time. She re-watches shows, and I'm sure she can hear me now. And yes, I'm talking crap about you. And if you watch this video, then you'll know. If you don't, it's just gonna be my secret. Anyway, but she watches all kinds of videos and stuff. So there are times she does watch it on her phone, and I don't even know why. She has an iPad. She could watch it on the iPad, but she watches it on her phone. Maybe she wants to watch it on the TV. You know what I'm saying? So it gives us more options in our life. You know what I mean? Now, in all seriousness, it does. That's really all it does. I mean, it's really the only benefit that it is for my life, at least right now. And we'll get into why, because this is obviously supposed to be a portable device, right? You're supposed to be able to take this on the go with you and be able to still access your console when you're on the go. I have not used it like that since I've gotten it, okay? So like I am very much a homebody, so this device for me was so that it can free up space on a TV. That's really what it's for. So I can take my game from having to sit out here in the living room. I can go and hang out with my wife in the room if she's reading a book or she's watching some TV in the room. I can bring the portal over there and then we can hang out for the night. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, to where I'm not having to choose whether to hang out with my wife or hang out with, really hang out with my wife or play my game. You know what I'm saying? I can meet the two scenarios in the middle in the grand scheme of things. Now, that is all fine and dandy, but again, there's the portable aspect of it. Now, the portable aspect of it is, it's okay. I won't even say it's okay. It's not okay. At least, I don't know if it's okay or not. Okay, so basically, you're gonna have a good Wi-Fi connection wherever you take this thing. There needs to be a good Wi-Fi connection. So it either needs to be a good Wi-Fi, not even either. You need to have a good Wi-Fi connection at home, and then you need to be connected to a good Wi-Fi wherever you're at when you're out and about with this portal. So the portal itself needs to be connected to a legitimate Wi-Fi, and then your Wi-Fi that you're paying for at the house needs to be up to snuff to be able to transmit that data. And unfortunately, my Wi-Fi sucks. All right. It is absolute dog water, and I am in the works of trying to get that resolved. Now, that is the reason that I think this does not work outside of this household. I have Verizon right now. Do not ever get Verizon, all right? If you can take anything from this video, do not get Verizon Wi-Fi. It's crap. It's total crap. But we're trying to get moved over to a new Wi-Fi, and then I'm going to test it out again, see if maybe going the distance on a better Wi-Fi at the house, maybe that will kind of deal with that situation. Well, actually, I'm wired in with my PS5, so it doesn't even matter anyway. It should have all the speed that it needs, and it cannot keep up. So I brought this with me to my mother's house for on Thanksgiving. Now, I didn't want to play games on it for Thanksgiving, all right? Calm down in the comments, let's relax. But I did want to use that opportunity to test out if this will work while I'm not in the house, right? So I did that, I got it connected, I was able to turn the PlayStation 5 on from my mother's house, who lives about 15 minutes away from here. That's crazy long. About 10 minutes away from here, and my house all the way over here, all right? It was able to turn the console on, I was able to move around, but very, very sloppily. And I say that because I would move the analog, what I'm moving is not moving. All right, like it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not going anywhere. And then out of nowhere, it registers my 7 different movesets that I've done on these the 7 different gestures that I've done on this controller here. Then it puts it in. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's trash. Then I turned the volume up because I've had the volume down, and turned the volume up, and yeah, you can't hear the audio well because it's unbelievably choppy. And I was like, okay, so this is just done. We're not doing this at all here. Turned it off, all right, whatever. So as of right now, I am locked in at my house with this thing. Now again, I think that is because of my Wi-Fi. I'm like 90% positive it's the Wi-Fi that is causing this issue. Hopefully when we get better Wi-Fi, that is mitigated. Now, I don't know if that's gonna be the case. So that's where everything kind of comes into play. You're gonna have to go to other reviewers who have been able to test this out, who actually have good Wi-Fi. And again, trust me, as you're irritated by hearing me say that, I am just as, and if not more irritated about this Wi-Fi. I gotta unplug this thing every freaking day just so it can boot back up. It's absolutely insane. But that is besides the point. We're talking about the portal here. And again, this device here in the house, it works perfectly. Now, even with my Wi-Fi being dog water, I am still able to get a very good gameplay, with this device in the house again, yes, whatever. But that was not the case when I was on better Wi-Fi using other devices. So I have better Wi-Fi using my phone. Phone is not sending the data as quickly and as cohesively as it does to the portal. Same thing with the iPad. iPad is actually 10 times worse, and it's an iPad Pro, 10 times worse than the iPhone I was using. I think at the time I was testing it on the iPhone 13, if I'm not mistaken. So even then, with the iPhone 13 and an iPad Pro, and it wasn't like I think it was a 2020 iPad Pro, so not the newest model, but still, it's an iPad Pro. It should be able to at least get the stream going in a cohesive manner. Nothing. Same thing here with our friend the Steam Deck. I tried the Steam Deck. I tried doing the, I don't know, Chiaki, I think that's what it's called. I tried doing the Chiaki thing on here, and I got it up and running and everything. But as soon as I tried that first game, you get in for the first time and you start playing, you're like, all right, it's looking good. Like, cutscenes look fine. And then you start to move, and it's completely choppy. It's lagging like crazy. This, I can wholeheartedly say, on shitty Wi-Fi, on terrible Wi-Fi, this thing can hold up. This thing is able to transmit that data. And again, I'm having some hitches here and there, but it's not consistent. It's more of a consistent, very good gameplay. You know what I mean? Now, I will say when you start to, get to moving, you start running around, it does get a little fuzzy, but as soon as you stop, it immediately gets crisp. So much so, I'm like, yo, am I playing this on here? Oh, snap. I dropped it. Am I playing this on here? Or is it being streamed like I know it is? Because it's very concerning, because it looks so good. And I also realized that there are some games that, if they are graphically demanding, those are going to be a little bit harder to stream. They're not going to be harder, but it's just you're going to notice those hitches and those little graphical innuendos. You're going to see those more so on these bigger titles. So I trusted out, or the bigger ones at least, Immortals of Aveum and Assassin's Creed Mirage. Both of those games still run fantastic. I've actually done most of my playthroughs. Now, again, I got those games for Black Friday. So those are fresh games that I started on here. I actually started both of the games on the PlayStation Portal to begin with, then transitioned back over to the console side of things. But this thing here, or with those games starting it off on here, very good experience. Now, with Immortals of Aveum, I did think that, I was like, dang, it looks a little jacked, and there is some choppiness here and there, like some frame stutters. And I was like, dang, maybe I should try it on the console. Go to the console, it's doing the same thing on the console. So it's not the device, it's the game. The game just needs more polish in the grand scheme of things. And I'm gonna tell you what, Immortals of Aveum came out a few months ago. You know what I'm saying? Several months ago. So I feel like I should not be dropping to 20 frames per second on my PS5. And that happened while I was playing on the console, not on the Portal, 20 frames per second. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, that was not fun. But either way, Assassin's Creed Mirage, wow. I had to stop. I'm sitting here playing it last night, and I had to stop myself, and I'm like, yo, why does the water look so freaking good on this thing here? It's being streamed. It should not look as good as it does, but it does. It does look that good. And again, that's on shitty Wi-Fi. Again, here in the house, but in the house, we're still getting fantastic visuals here. And that's one thing that I can't say any of these other streaming devices have ever given me. So if you're looking at between, a Steam Deck and a Portal, and you're looking for, you got to figure out what you want. You know what I mean? If you're wanting a device that you can carry your PlayStation 5 games with you and can pick up where you left off on a handheld device, then the Portal's going to be something for you. I definitely don't think, I personally, because I've done it, I've used Chiaki on the Steam Deck, Steam Deck is not the option for it. I don't know about the other handheld PCs that are on the market right now, if they do the streaming side of it a little bit better, if they even have the ability to be honest, I don't know. But I can say wholeheartedly, it is not good on the Steam Deck. At least my experience was not good. It felt the exact same as doing it on the phone, as doing it on the iPad, as it did on the Steam Deck. And it is night and day on the portable compared to all of those devices combined. So with that being said, that right there is a selling point for me. If you can get the streaming to at least somewhat of a cohesive manner where I feel like I can complete a whole game on this device while it's streaming from my console, yes, I can be down with that. Now, let's get to the bad side of things. And the bad side of it is, again, the Wi-Fi. You have to have good Wi-Fi. And if you don't have good Wi-Fi, it's gonna blow up in your face, and that sucks. Now, I don't want to have to deal with that every single time I'm trying to just play a game, right? So that's where I'm saying the first step is that you can do in your own power is making sure that your Wi-Fi is good. I am under the impression that my Wi-Fi is not, therefore I have to make that first step, and then we can test to see. I'm not going to put the blame on this portal just yet because I don't know, because I know my Wi-Fi is notorious for being crap. So with that being said, then the next step is checking for the Wi-Fi that's at the location that you're at. Now, I was at my mother's house when I tested this. That's a home Wi-Fi connecting to the console that's on my home Wi-Fi. So those should be pretty good Wi-Fis in the grand scheme of things. Again, mine's crap. But I've said it so many times because it's true. Anyway, so when you see that, you want to get to like a coffee shop or something, right? That's not another home Wi-Fi. That's going to be the most time that you're going to be utilizing this device here is in those kind of settings. Now, this comes directly from IGN. They said this during their review. There is no internet access on this thing. Again, what did I say at the top of this? This is just a streaming device. And if you don't have a PS5 console, this is a paperweight, which means there ain't nothing else you can do with this thing except stream. You cannot access the internet on this device. You cannot. So how are you supposed to go through those registration forms that happen when you're going to like Starbucks or whatever, and you want to connect to their Wi-Fi, and they say, hey, you have to approve their terms and conditions before you use their Wi-Fi. Can't do that. Can't access that page on the Steam Deck, on the portal. So these are issues that are now arising since we have this out in the wild. Now, not every single place is gonna, make you sign terms and agreements to use their Wi-Fi. Like my business in general does not do that. So again, there are places that are out and about that do not require that. I think Chick-fil-A as well doesn't. Like restaurants, I think just let you for the most part, but those coffee shops, they do make you sign that. And that might be because those are hot spots for people to, do some work or anything like that. So maybe that's why they make people sign those things. But either way, if you're trying to get some gaming in at those places, don't expect to, because you won't be able to connect to it. Now, is this something that that PlayStation could potentially update and, add that feature in to where if you do go to these places, you can access that page? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know if they could or not. But that's a huge part of what makes this a problem here, because this is supposed to be a portable device, and if you can't connect to Wi-Fi wherever you decide to go, then it's useless. You can't use it. So I understand people being, a little taken aback and wanting to take their time and see how this does in the wild like that, before jumping in. But there are also some people who don't understand that this is not a standalone console. You cannot buy games for this thing. It has one purpose, and they're going to do it for that, and they're going to use that in the way that it wants to be used, or the way that Sony wants it to be used. So think of it like a Cane's or an In-N-Out burger. Cane's and In-N-Out, both of them became who they are and what they are today because they found one item that they wanted to make, and they only made that one item, and they focused on perfecting it and making it be the best chicken strips for Cane's and burgers for In-N-Out that you can get anywhere, right? Now, obviously it's a little biased, but you can't deny that they have done a good job of, reaching that goal. Cane's chicken is pretty freaking good, and they've done it, and that because that's the only thing they focused on. And then obviously the sides and a little bit else, outside of it, but for the most part, just the chicken. For In-N-Out, burgers. That is it. And their fries, and obviously again, there's gonna be some other things that they focus, but the main focus is burgers. I feel like PlayStation's main focus for this is just streaming. That's why we don't see Bluetooth in here. Now, do I agree with no Bluetooth in it? Hell no, this is stupid. Why would you not put Bluetooth in this damn thing? You wanna know why? So that it forces you and me, if you have one of these things, to go out and buy a $200 or $150 pair of headphones that connects to this thing automatically. But I have a workaround for you. If you have a headset for your PlayStation 5 that you currently use, a wireless headset that you already are using for your PlayStation 5. Now, granted, this is not going to be something that you can do when you are not in the vicinity of your PlayStation 5. Like if you have taken this to the coffee shop, as we discussed earlier, you won't be able to do this trick. But if you're in your house and enjoying the loveliness of the PlayStation Portal, you can take your headset that is connected to your PlayStation 5, put that on, use that as your headset, turn the volume down on here, bam, you got wireless headset for a no cost at all to you. I got a workaround, Sony. What you want with it? I'm not paying $200 to $150 for some headphones. Come on now. Anyway, so that is pretty much how I'm feeling with the Portal, all right? Like, I'm very much loving this device. This thing is fantastic. I had to get some games on the Black Friday sale just so I can test it out to see just how good it is. Like I said, I got Immortals of Avium, Assassin's Creed Mirage, but then I also downloaded some games. So I re-downloaded, what is the game called? Scarlet Nexus. So as you guys, we discussed earlier on the JMR Plays episode, I did start Scarlet Nexus on the Steam Deck. I wanted to see how it would run on this thing here while it's being streamed. I also re-downloaded Infamous Second Son. Infamous Second Son and Scarlet Nexus both looked phenomenal on here. Second Son specifically. That game, when it loaded up in the colors and the neon lights and everything, and just the dark nature of some parts of that game, I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, dude, what in the world are you talking about right now? How does this game look this good being streamed to this device here? It baffled me. So that's why I'm saying, if you're not using it or you're not playing a game that is high in fidelity, high graphical prowess, it's gonna run really, really well on this device. And again, there are gonna be some hiccups here. There are some hiccups already that we've uncovered, but for the most part, from, seeing what these other streaming devices have given me, the experience that I've gotten from them, and again, let's be honest, it is very much a PlayStation thing. When I would stream games from Xbox to my phone, I've got my case on, and I hit the mic. But when I would stream games from the Xbox to my phone, it ran pretty much well. It ran pretty much the way that this runs games now. But PlayStation side of things did not run well. So that is definitely a PlayStation side of the streaming aspect that they just didn't have down to, transmit it to the phones or the iPads or whatever it is. And it seems like they got it with this thing here. All right, now, that's pretty much all I got for you guys, man. I just wanted to get in here. I wanted to give you guys a thought on where my head's at with this and, kind of some pros and some cons and what the real talk of the town is for this. I've got it in my hands. This is how, this is a raw discussion. This is how I'm feeling about the Steam Deck. I keep saying that. This is how I'm feeling about the Portal as of 11/25/2023. But guys, as always, I have been your host, Jedi Master Ren, and I will see you next time in the halls of the Jedi Gaming Academy. May the Force be with you.